Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a double review. I'm going to be reviewing ICO and Shadow of the Colossus. I'm going to start with ICO. Now, there's a few things I want to focus on, which is going to be the gameplay, the graphics, the story, the sound, and overall any kind of extra content, if any, that ICO and Shadow of the Colossus have to offer. Both games were produced by Team ICO, which they're known for creating truly masterpiece-worthy video games. Like, video games is art. So you can kind of already get an idea of what type of game you're going to be playing by playing one of their games. So let's get started. ICO is primarily a puzzle, platformer, kind of action, adventure kind of stuff, mildly thrown in. So for the most part, you're going to be solving puzzles, exploring this giant castle, and a little bit of hack and slash here and there, but mostly it's a puzzle solving kind of game. It's kind of a giant escort mission, sort of, but I'll get into that in a little bit. The story of ICO is kind of... there's not a whole lot of scripted dialogue, so really the story is what's presented to you through the graphics. What are you seeing when you're in this area? You know, the scenes that take place. You're really supposed to immerse yourself in the game. And I think in a way, ICO and both Shadow of the Colossus does this very well. Team ICO really makes you feel like this world that you're playing through is tangible. Like, you really feel as though you're playing, it's really happening. I mean, you can really immerse yourself in this game. The story is basically this. ICO is a boy born with horns. For the good of his village, to prevent ill omens, he's brought to this giant castle. And he's to become a sacrifice. He's going to be ritually, ceremoniously sacrificed and left here to die to protect the village. And that's just, how tradition has done it. And apparently they've been doing this for generations, as you're not the only person there that's been sacrificed. There's all these little capsules of other previous sacrifices having, of course, been sacrificed. But as fate would have it, unexpectedly and inevitably, something occurs where ICO manages to break free of his confinement and to actually start to explore this big, open, lonely, empty castle. At which point he ends up running into Yorda, a girl who's been imprisoned in a cage, and he manages to free her. They both assume that they're meant there to be sacrificed, and they decide that they're not going to let that happen. They're going to try to escape. Now, doing so, these shadow-like creatures start spawning out of everywhere and try to take Yorda away. So the majority of the game is ICO is supposed to solve all these puzzles, go through all this entire castle to find freedom for him, for himself and Yorda. But at the same time, you're going to be hounded by these shadowy spirits that are always trying to take her away, and you don't want to leave her alone. So that's sort of the kind of action adventure where you have to hack and slash these spirits to basically get them to relent their attacks. And that's how it is. So as you progress, you'll very quickly you'll come up to the main gate of the castle, which is just left wide open. And that brings us to where we get to be introduced to our main antagonist, the queen of the castle, Yorda's mother. She won't allow ICO to take Yorda away. And she'll even shut the gates and lock the two of them inside to make sure they don't escape. So basically, ICO is about the boy, ICO, escorting Yorda, solving puzzles, fighting off these spirits, trying feverishly to make their escape and avoid becoming sacrifices, to kind of win their freedom in this giant labyrinth of a castle. the sound, the music. There's music in the game. To be quite honest, and I didn't pay attention to it because I'm so immersed in the graphics and the sound of the environment. There's not a whole lot of creeping sound. You really don't know. It's like there's no foreboding. There's no foreshadowing of events. If there's spirits around, you'll hear the sound of the spirits. But other than that, it's mainly just quiet, peaceful, exploring the castle with you and Yorda. And that really creates a bond with the player. And I think that ICO does that very well. So, all in all, I would say that ICO is a very good game. Unfortunately, it didn't receive a lot of publicity. It didn't sell very well, at least here in the States. And unfortunately, it's quite a rare gem to find. You can find it used going anywhere between $35 to quite a lot of money. And brand new, it skyrockets. I managed to snag my copy for like $54, and it plays perfectly. It's in almost near mint condition. Wonderful purchase. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Gameplay is only about 6 to 10 hours. Took me about 7, but it's worth every cent. So with that being said, let's move on to Shadow of the Colossus. Now, this received more publication, more publicity. It sold a little bit better, and it is similar to ICO, not only because of the fact that Team ICO produced it, but it has a lot of elements of the same. It's kind of the same big open world and mysterious kind of storyline. It too is like a beautiful masterpiece. It's like video game as art. And let me see if I can kind of explain it. Shadow of the Colossus is the sequel to ICO. Unfortunately, it's also sort of the prequel to ICO. But there's actually no mention of these two games being connected. It's really that there are so many similarities between the two games that they have to be connected without actually saying this game is definitively a prequel or sequel to whatever game. So it's basically the player knows that these two games are, when they take place, they're possibly connected, and it's up to you to figure out, what these stories are trying to, portray. But I'm digressing. Let me get into the main focus. Shadow of the Colossus is a puzzle, platformer, and action adventure game, much like ICO, only this is more emphasis on the explorative and fighting part. Puzzles really amount to really just finding the weak spots on these giant colossus that you have to defeat, and that's basically it. You have to the main point of the gameplay is traveling across this big, vast expanse of a wilderness, going to each domain, fighting 16 colossus, killing them, finding their weaknesses, defeating them. That's the game. Now, it's pretty simplistic, but it's amazing. It really draws you in. And if you think like the boss battles in like God of War, or I really can't think of any other game right at the moment, if you think those boss battles are big, amp that up by a little bit more, and you got every single boss fight in Shadow of the Colossus, and that's exactly what you get. Let's see. So I've got the gameplay out of the way. Let's get graphics. Push the PS2 to the limit. Unfortunately, there are frame rate issues as far as I know. I didn't notice them, but I've been told that there's frame rate issues on the PS2. Nothing to worry about. Graphics just like ICO. Really immersive. Really kind of make you want to take more time away from fighting the Colossus or the Colossi, and really just pay attention to where you're exploring, where you're going, what you're looking at.